Good afternoon, my renegades. Welcome back to Rogue Radio. My name is Sarah Jane, and yes, I missed you too. Mwah. Big virtual hugs, especially to the 3 brand new countries that are listening. That is a total of 66 countries. We are taking over the world, guys. I just want to welcome Saudi Arabia, Chile, and Armenia to the Rogue family. Thank you so much for listening. I am humbled. I never actually thought that my voice would be heard in 66 countries. It is insane to really think about. I don't like to think about it too much because, I don't know. I don't know. What is that going to do if I think about it too much? Will I have an ego after this? I don't know. No, but I am truly humbled. I love each and every one of my listeners out there. If I could give you a present just for listening, I would, but your girl on a budget. But just know from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate the absolute living heck out of you. And speaking of the people that I appreciate the heck out of, a big shout out to the Fat Mantis on Instagram, Voice of the Fat Mantis on YouTube. He is now a morning radio show host on the app called Audiolus on the weekdays from 6 to 11 or 6 to 10, I can't remember which, but it's on the radio station Hot 95, and it is great. I listened, it was amazing, I'm so freaking proud of him, he keeps climbing to the top, and I'm just cheering him on. Keep going, bro. Also on the appreciation shout-out list is Daxon Dragon VT. I've known him ever since I was in elementary school. He is a good friend, and he is a very good streamer on Twitch. So go to Daxon Dragon VT, show him some love, tell him that Rogue Radio sent you. He does a lot of video game streaming, lots of speedruns and challenges if you're into stuff like that. And yeah, he's just really a really fun person. So go ahead, subscribe to him, do it, alright? Because if you don't, you're not my friend. I'm kidding. Anyway, I have told you that there is a mysterious, reliable source that I have in my back pocket. Well, sorry, I didn't realize that, I was listening to the Cooper Stuff podcast just earlier, so it was kind of weird. It just started playing all of a sudden, again, so give me a second.
Welcome back to Renegade Times. Jump in the shit's about to get real. This is where listening goes off the grid. Let's get into some trouble.
Yes, so I do have some underground espionage renegades out there on the field informing me about some very deep topics, and one of them is about the Hunter Biden whistleblower type of deal that happened. And of course, I'm not always informed about certain news like this, and that's why I have my people out there in the field giving me some insight, because your fearless leader doesn't know everything, and I'm very thankful for those people who are out there on the field talking to me about stuff like this. But just because I am not informed on it just yet, it's not going to be on this episode. It might be on the next. It all depends. I have to make sure that I get the right sources when it comes to a big story like this, because I don't want to end up retracting something on another episode saying, oh, this wasn't true, I thought it was, and all this stuff. I mean, of course it's going to happen sometimes, but I do my best not to, give you false information at all. Yes, but Rogue Radio's doing some underground shit now. Whew, yes. Alright, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to give a comment on the YouTube video. Contact me on Instagram, anything else. I'm very fun to talk to. And also get yourself some merch. The link will be down in the description below on how to get yourself some Rogue Radio armor. Alright, you're gonna need it out there in that world today. We gotta take care of the ugly donkey in the room. I would say elephant, but that's the Republican thing. You know what? There is an elephant and a donkey in the room that we need to take care of, and it's called politics. Let's go. Do I just sound like a psycho sometimes to you? I'm hearing myself. I think I'm a bit psycho. Maybe just a little bit. I don't know. I had crack in a cup today, so that's probably why. And all of those who don't know that joke, it's coffee. That's all it is. I just want to wish everyone a very belated Memorial Day. I'm sorry that I did not record on Memorial Day. I was with the family, of course, but I just want to give a big thank you and appreciation to all of the people who are serving in the military in America. You are the backs that we stand on. You are what makes America great, and I greatly appreciate you, Rogue Radio family members, myself, that are in the military, so I will always respect their position. So your sacrifice, your bravery is very much loved and supported by Rogue Radio. Thank you. So usually that would be a good segue into what's going on this whole month. There are about maybe 3 main things that a lot of people like to celebrate during June, which is Mental Health Awareness Month, which I thought was like later on in the year. As much as I'm, into mental health, I did not realize that June was Mental Health Awareness Month as well. Let's see, Pride Month, and then of course Memorial Day. And so Target decided to release a whole line of Pride Month stuff, but also did not celebrate the veterans from Memorial Day, and a lot of people are very upset about that. And because of that, Target's stocks are plummeting, so we're going to be talking about that. If I can find... Yeah, there it is. Everything is done by my phone, so please be patient with me. It's still recording, right? Okay. Just want to make sure. Oh, great. I have to find it now. Alright. Elon Musk rips Target after its stock is downgraded. Won't be long before shareholders sue Target. So, Twitter owner Elon Musk took a shot at Target on Friday morning after JP Morgan downgraded the retailer's stock, saying that it was only a matter of time before the company faced lawsuits for its controversial actions, that have led to the company losing billions of dollars in stock market value. Target made emergency calls in midday to managers and senior directors after the company faced backlash for its Pride collection, which included tuck-friendly female swimwear. Yeah, I can understand why that can be controversial. Especially if it's kids, like for trans kids, which I don't support at all. Leave our kids alone. Fuck you. I'm not apologetic for that. Like I said, there's gonna be some toxic people in the LGBTQ and some sensible people in the LGBTQ. There are some people in the LGBTQ that do not support the trans kids movement. They want to protect kids as well. So don't think that I'm coming after the whole group. I'm talking about the toxic motherfuckers out there. I'm coming after you. Anyway, we were given 36 hours and told to take all of our Pride stuff, the entire section, and move it into a section that's a third the size from the front of the store to the back of the store. You can't have anything on mannequins and no large signage, a Target insider told Fox News. The woke company has always faced boycotts, lost more than 12 billion, in market value, and faced its longest lasting streak in years. JP Morgan said that it was downgrading Target stock because of the recent company controversies. Well, of course, you're encouraging people to tuck their dick in to make them feel like they're a woman with your swimwear. Of course that's going to cause controversy. I don't care how gay-friendly you try to make it, or how LGBTQ-friendly you try to make it. There's going to be, especially parents, that are going to speak out on that. Especially when it comes to that. Musk responded to the news, tweeting, "Won't be long before there are class action lawsuits by shareholders against the company and board of directors for destruction of shareholder value." Yeah, I can understand that, because people who are investing in Target are probably also conservatives. Not all of them, but when it comes to people who are...
Target.
They have a whole line for Pride Month, and they decided to make a line of like tuck-friendly swimwear for trans kids or trans people.
Oh,
so whenever they tuck their penis into their bikini.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So yeah, of course there's gonna be some old school farts in the stock market that's not gonna be with that. Have you seen the stock market? It's old rich men yanking each other off. That's exactly what it is. Not all of those old men are gonna like that. So
some of them might.
Some of them might. Some of them might. I mean, they could be like Joe Biden, who like to... Never mind. Tame your tongue. Tame your tongue, Sarah. That's what we learned this week. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Ugh. Anyway, Daily Wire host Candace Owens, God, I love her, responded in agreement with Musk's disapproval of Target, praising the CEO for its commitment to free speech and the safety of children. Let's see. Target has been perceived as woke by many online since at least 2014, when the company announced it would no longer divide certain products by gender. In 2016, Target introduced a gender-neutral line for children and also asserted they would allow transgender people to use whatever bathroom they preferred, prompting criticism. Target then spent $20 million to put private bathrooms in their stores. Let's see. The vice president for brand management at Target also serves as a treasurer of an LGBTQ group that has received millions of dollars in donations from Target and urges schools to adopt policies to help trans and non-binary school students hide their gender identity from their parents. Okay. This is the very reason why I cannot stand when communities like this end up involving themselves in politics, especially when in the American home as well. Because right there, I know in Minnesota they did pass something saying that any child who believes that they're trans can go ahead and go under the knife without their parents' permission, or they're okay because they believe that trans kids are being oppressed and all that stuff. Listen, I have said it before and I'm going to say it again. Teenage kids, even kids below the age of teenager age, okay? Their brains are not fully developed. Their judgment is impulsive, okay? Whether or not they believe that they are truly transgender or what have you, going under the knife is the most stupidest thing a child can do. Listen, I love all the youth of America, but listen, science tells us that your brain is not fully developed in order to make decisions so deep and so crucial and very risky like that. Alright? There's a reason why there is a age of consent, there's an age for drinking, there's an age for certain laws that when they end up going into adulthood, they're allowed to have sex when they're 18, they're allowed to drink when they're 21. There's reasons why. There's reasons why we have laws behind this, okay? So when it comes to you're attacking children in the home saying you don't need your parents' permission to go under the knife to cut off certain appendages that you don't believe that they're your own, okay? That is scary because one, transgender surgery, gender reassignment surgery is not a professional practice and has never been approved by the medical society. Has never been approved. So all of those doctors that are reassigning gender, okay, they are not professional and they are illegally cutting off, mutilating our youth. They are mutilating our youth all because of the confusion that, and I will say it, the government has spewed in order to sterilize the human race in America. And I know that's a little bit of conspiracy Sarah coming out, but it's true. It's true. I have read up on a lot of documents. I've read up on a lot of things in books. There's so much that we do not see on the news that we take at face value and we think it's true. I can't stand it. I don't watch the news on the screen. I do not take in things that other people do. I am not naive, okay? And this is one of the reasons why I choose to talk about this stuff on my podcast, because you will not hear it on the news. Okay? Leave our youth alone. Well, here's some news from San Francisco. Lawsuit accuses San Francisco of running racially discriminatory guaranteed income programs. I mean, I don't expect anything less from California. They're very woke. They're woker than woke, if you know what I mean. I don't know. So when it comes to bullshit like this, I expect it. I expect it to start from California and just make a sweep across the rest of America, just because everything I feel like starts from California, because everybody's so, how do you say it? I don't know. They're just very woke. they want to include everybody, but, you know. Anyway. Let's see. California's Equal Rights Foundation, CFER, filed a lawsuit accusing San Francisco of running racially discriminatory guaranteed income programs, which the organization says violate the 14th Amendment. CFER, which is being represented by the American Civil Rights Project, the ACR project, announced that their lawsuit would challenge several different entities, including both city and county of San Francisco, as well as San Francisco Unified School District, the California Health and Human Services Agency, and the University of California, San Francisco. Our legal challenge focuses on 4 unconstitutional guaranteed... Man, I mean, that's a red flag right there. This person says, our legal challenge focuses on 4 unconstitutional guaranteed income programs that violate the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, the Thursday press release stated. So this is a press release. This is a professional press release, and they basically just blatantly said, like, hey, it's our legal challenge is to focus on 4 unconstitutional guaranteed income programs. Okay, I get it. It's a big red flag, though. Because if they came out, these guaranteed income programs came out and said that, it would be a total red flag. But I get this person who said this is investigating this. So the lawsuit focuses on Abundant Birth Project, which the group said provides unconstitutional cash supplements up to $1,000 to Black and Pacific Islander mothers as a strategy to reduce preterm birth and improve economic outcomes for our communities. Black and Pacific Islander mothers as a strategy to reduce preterm birth. Another guaranteed income program highlighted in the lawsuit that Black Economic Equity Movement, which would elect 300 Black young adults 18 to 24 to receive $500 per month for 1 year. Is this where all of our money's going? Is that why most of the people now need a second job just to survive? Because we're giving money to things that are illegal right now. We're giving money to guaranteed income programs. You know Biden decided to do that. Oh my, okay. Third program is called Guaranteed Income for Trans People, is also being challenged in the lawsuit. The program would provide low-income transgender San Franciscans with $1,200 each month up to 18 months, with priority given to Black, Indigenous, or people of color, POC, whatever, applicants. So, okay, let's just say, okay, in Toledo, Ohio, it is hard for anybody to get on cash assistance or food assistance. And right now, inflation is very, very high in America, all right? And I don't think it's very fair, all right? Regardless of your color, regardless of your sexuality or identity, I don't think this should be happening, especially since there's a lot of people who want to pull out 4 jobs, 3 jobs, 2 jobs in order to survive and pay the bills because of the inflation that Biden decided to inject upon the country. This should not be happening, especially since it's unconstitutional and illegal to do this, all right? Do I believe that everybody should have the freedom to do whatever they... Yes, I get it, all right? Everyone's... Despite what I say, despite what I choose to believe, despite what I think, my opinion, as much as it's heard in 66 countries, I'm not here to change the world. I'm just here for the world to hear me. Okay? But I do think it is very unfair that this is happening, that we're singling certain groups out to accommodate them and their feelings and their sensibilities and their sensitivity to the world. And yet there's homeless people in San Francisco that actually live in the viaducts. And every time it rains, they live in the viaducts. There's homeless people in the viaducts, all right, that live in Las Vegas, all right, that live everywhere. There's a lot of homeless people in Toledo, too. They have nowhere to go. I'm a recovery coach. There are homeless people that come into the center that I work at, and sometimes it takes us very long to get them a home. And yet we're giving transgender people $1,200 each, which I don't know what the population is for the transgender community in San Francisco. Okay? I don't want to even look up the percentage, okay? But I can imagine that it is pretty high because it's part of the LGBTQ community. All right? And right now, as John L. Cooper from Cooper Stuff has said today, the LGBTQ has become the God of America right now. That's the God that a lot of people serve right now, which I wholeheartedly agree. But usually someone who ends up getting cash assistance or food assistance, depending on their disability or depending on their situation, most of the time, back in the day, they were able to get $200 of food assistance and cash assistance from the city of Toledo. That has gone down to $182. And that is a very, very low price. That is not a lot of money for even people who are on disability, who are on food assistance, cash assistance, whatever. That is very low. All right? But here we are, accommodating the transgender community and the BLM movement, apparently. $1,000 to Black and Pacific Island mothers, $300 to Black young adults, $500 per month for 1 year, and $1,200 a month for transgender people. Listen, I'm not here to discriminate, but that's illegal. It really is. It should be. It is very illegal. Because there's so many other people out there, especially homeless people, that would love to have that money in order to get themselves cleaned up, in order to get a job. Not all homeless people want to have a job. Sometimes they're drug addicts. I understand that. But the homeless rate in San Francisco is being fucking ignored. Las Vegas is being ignored. Like I said, they sleep in the viaducts. I have watched a documentary where in Las Vegas, they are called undesirables. The homeless people are called undesirables by the police, by higher up people. And they sleep in these viaducts, or like these waterway tunnels. And whenever it rains, sometimes they die because that's the only place or type of shelter that they have. So whenever it rains, they literally have to sacrifice whatever they have within their own space in order to get out of there as fast as they can. That's not fair. Why aren't we giving this money to homeless organizations, or organizations that will actually beautify the society of America, you know? Like, I don't understand. I really don't. People think that people who are part of the LGBTQ or part of any type of African American movement at the moment, like they're the bleeding hearts of America. Listen, I just don't believe it. I don't. You can call me racist, you can call me prejudiced or whatever. I don't care. But what I'm saying is that from my opinion, from where I stand, that is very unfair. That is very unfair, because there are other people out there that want jobs, that can't get it, need money, that can't get it, that need accommodations that they cannot get. Medicaid is very hard to come by now, because there are so many people that absolutely fucking need it, and they can't get it because of whatever fucking problem. I remember when I was going to school, okay, and I'm not gonna, be ashamed of this. I used to be on EBT. I used to be on food stamps very long time ago. And I had gone to the building that supplies all of that. And they said, well, since you're a student now, we're gonna take away your food assistance. And I was like, what? Why? I mean, they literally wanted me to rely on the grants that the government gave me in order to provide for my food. That's exactly what they wanted me to do. And that is what I actually had to do, because they decided that because I am going to school, I am no longer qualified to have food assistance at the time. And I mean, back in that time, I was just in a dark place, and I just, relied on that for food. And there were times where I did have to take out grants just to provide for myself for food. And that put me in debt. And it sucks. It shouldn't have happened like that. Usually, the government should have looked at me, or should have looked at anybody who was in my position, and said, well, you're gonna need that more because, you don't want to rely on the grants because you're going to have to pay that back. Well, they wanted me to pay it back. Because since grants and food card, of course, are both from the government, it was like, oh, okay, well, you spent this much money on our EBT. We're just going to make sure that you pay your debt to us from your student loans that you're about to take out. I'm just like, you're dicks. You're fucking dicks. But I'm just saying, from my opinion, this is unfair. It is. It's very unfair. And to be honest, I'm not here to go ahead and pamper anybody who's part of any type of community, whether it's BLM, whether it's LGBTQ or whatever. Listen, this is just wrong. This is wrong. Straight up. I'm not here to spare anybody's feelings. Meanwhile, the Guaranteed Income Pilot for Artists provides 190 artists of particular races and gender expressions monthly payments of $1,000 up to 18 months. So if I moved to San Francisco, cut off all my hair, and decided to call myself a transgender man, I could qualify for $1,000 for 18 months. Well, that's awesome. I could quit my second job. Do you see how unfair that is? The California Constitution unambiguously prohibits public agencies from treating individuals differently on the basis of race. President of CFER, Frank Zhu, stated in the press release. He also went on to argue that these entities ignore the law and offer race preferential programs under the guise of equity. Meanwhile, Bradley Benbrook, the ACR Project's California co-counsel, asserted that the California Constitution further prohibits granting any citizen or class of citizens any privileges or immunities that granted on are not granted on the same terms to all citizens. See, that's funny, because I'm pretty sure one of those people who has that type of benefit, one of those people is looking at white people or looking at some type of person from any type of group, whatever problem they have with somebody, they're going to be calling them, okay, privileged. Well, you're privileged. You're sitting on a fucking pile of money that's not even fucking legally yours, bro.
How privileged is that? How hypocritical is that?
He went on to add, these provisions clearly forbid public entities from choosing beneficiaries based on identitarian considerations. Why did you say it like that? CFER previously notified government entities in San Francisco of their intent to file a lawsuit charging in March that it's cartoonishly unconstitutional for San Francisco and its co-conspirators to so blatantly distribute public resources based on race. I'm done. Yeah, okay, we haven't heard much from Ocasio-Cortez. Okay. Ocasio-Cortez says that COVID-19 pandemic will never end. Well, ma'am, it was engineered. It was biochemical terrorism. And if I had the documents that I have read, that I do have somewhere, I would definitely fucking run you into the ground, sweetheart. Let's just say COVID-19 is patented and owned by a certain someone. Okay? So does desert fever. It is also patented, along with swine flu, H1N1, and Lyme disease. We have seen a sweep of each and every one of those at some point in our lives, and it has all been engineered. It has all been put out in the open. Okay? It's biochemical terrorism. And Ocasio-Cortez has decided to keep people afraid. That's very responsible of you, bitch. The COVID-19 pandemic is over for everyone but Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. The pandemic lives on for the New York Democratic Socialist, at least according to an automated phone message that reportedly plays when people call her congressional office in Washington, D.C. Thank you for calling the office of Representative Ocasio-Cortez. Federal, state, and local officials have advised that social distancing is critical to preventing the spread of COVID-19. The recorded greeting from a male staffer says, according to the New York Post. Well, okay, I'm not gonna say that, to be honest, how lazy is she? That's an actual question. Because sometimes people just don't update their message machines. Maybe she's just one of those lazy ass people. I don't know. Let me just give her a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, yo. As such, staff in the Congresswoman's DC and district offices will shortly begin telecommunicating meetings, and other businesses will be conducted by phone or video. Thank you for your understanding. Who is still doing any of that? Way back in August of 2022, the Centers for Disease Control, the CDC, got rid of social distance requirements, which called for people to stay 6 feet from others. And last September, President Joe Biden declared the pandemic is over. In a bit of hilarity, Biden's staff and Dr. Anthony Fauci, who headed up the White House COVID response team, walked back to President walk back to the president's declaration, okay? But Biden did sign a bill passed by Congress that officially ended the COVID-19 emergency on May 11th. The fellow lawmaker mocked AOC for being so out of tune. Maybe her office just needs to update its voicemail. See, I told you. But the pandemic is over and all federal employees need to return to the office. They don't get paid to sit home. Exactly. Rep. Nicole Rep. Nicole, Republican of New York, I don't even know how to pronounce her last name, told the Post, "My office is never closed to begin with." See, I like that. Anyway, you still see the odd straggler wearing a mask. I saw one just yesterday alone in a car. Yeah, there are some people around my hometown that still wear a mask, even in Cedar Point. Like, I ended up going to Cedar Point once, not too long ago, and there were people still wearing a mask. I'm just like, yo, pandemic is over, you know. I will say that maybe there are some people out there that are still getting COVID. I don't know. I'm not going to say that this isn't a real sickness, but I am going to say that it is a biochemically engineered disease, okay? If they have smallpox on ice in a lab in Florida, they can most definitely create some shit in a lab, okay? I don't even believe it came from China. I believe it came from Plum Island, which is from the middle. It is in the middle of America. It used to be around Cape Cod, but their security is terrible when it comes to containment, when it comes to, you know, researching like the most deadly illnesses in America. They have everything. They have everything in petri dishes. They do all that shit. If you guys want to learn a lot about Plum Island, you can go ahead and look for down the Rabbit Hole series on YouTube. Plum Island will be there for you guys to, you know, go ahead and be informed on that. But you still see the, yeah, okay, hang on. But for one wide majority of Americans, we were done with the pandemic last year. SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, keeps mutating and moving around, but we've all moved on. Yeah, there was like a Delta, Omicron, and something else. I don't remember. There was just so many. And nobody really bought it. The government just kept on coming out with new, like, mutations, and I'm just like, COVID-19 is just as bad. Like, you're gonna say that Omicron is going to make you tired to where you're not gonna want to work? That's basically what happened. That's basically the symptoms. Like, you won't want to go to work. They didn't want the American people to go to work, so they decided, like, hey, you know, you're gonna be very, very tired and very sluggish. There's a lot of illnesses out there, especially anemia, that makes people not want to get out of bed. You know, they get drowsy, they get sluggish, they get fatigued. There's a lot of illnesses. That's a wide range of illnesses that could make someone sluggish. So saying that it comes from a pandemic or comes from a certain virus is very irresponsible. You're just making people scared. Anyway, around 2/3 of adults in the United States do not plan to get updated COVID-19 booster shots soon, according to the survey conducted by the Kaiser Family Foundation, a health policy nonprofit organization Reuters reported at the time. The one thing that I will say is if you have vaccinated your child, listen, I'm not going to blame you for not knowing, because a lot of people don't know. But a lot of the vaccines, and I know that I know this episode probably might be taken down on YouTube just because of the algorithm, but most of the V words, the vaccines that you give your kids, has a chemical called remdesivir, which is very deadly and poisonous to the immune system of a child. So I highly recommend that you do your research on remdesivir, because that is a deadly, deadly thing. They don't want us to have children. Like I said, they want to sterilize the American people. Anyway, but Democrats believe that the establishment media in America, which spent 2 years terrifying people with breathless reports that we are all about to die. Once they committed, they just didn't want to let the pandemic go. That was made clear in a Gallup poll last November. Americans in all party groups have become more likely to say the pandemic is over since July, including increases of 12 points among Republicans, 14 points among Democrats, and 10 points among independents. Gallup found. Okay. However, Republicans are the only party with majority saying that the pandemic is over. Republicans are more than 3 times as likely as Democrats to say this, at 73 versus 21%, while 48 of independents agree. Despite the fact that Biden has said he believes the pandemic is over, a majority of the party's faithful 79% do not concur. And some, like the AOC, apparently didn't concur or did not agree. All right. Yeah. New Yorkers shout out at AOC over border crisis, Ukraine war during chaotic down. All right, well, since I just decided to talk about I read that out loud, but it was supposed to be in my mind, but here we go. Here's another one. Representative AOC, Ocasio-Cortez, all right, faced a handful of enraged constituents during a Friday night town hall in Queens. Some New Yorkers in attendance took issue with Congresswoman's soft stance on illegal immigration, raising the debt ceiling. And her support of seemingly endless U.S. funding for Ukraine. That's where all of our tax dollars are going, isn't it? I forgot, yeah. Russia and Ukraine are still in a war, so wars are expensive, and of course, we have to support NATO, which is part of the goddamn war. Which means, of course, inflation is going to be at an all-time high. Why didn't I think of that? I keep forgetting that war is existing at the moment. I do have Ukraine and Russia listening. I will not choose sides. I just want to go ahead and talk to the people of Ukraine and Russia. I hope you guys are safe. God bless you. I love you very much. Stay safe, all right? It's not that I didn't believe that this was going on. Of course it's going on. It's being live streamed on YouTube as we speak, which really boils my blood. Who the fuck is doing that? Like, who the fuck is doing that? You know, there's always going to be someone behind the camera doing that, right? Like, people don't question that. Who's doing that? Who's just deciding to live stream people dying in a war? You know? Who's doing that? That one was strange. I saw that, I'm like, oh my god. This is real. And people are just commenting and hearting it and liking it. I'm like, this should not be on social media. Anyway, like I said, any of my listeners, anybody who is listening from Ukraine and Russia, I really hope you guys are safe. I love you both. Like I said, I'm not going to choose sides, because to be honest, I'm not the type of person that will when it comes to war. I believe that war is just evil and should not be done. I do believe that war is necessary sometimes, but I do wish that there was an alternative way about doing things where innocent lives wouldn't be lost. That's all. Anyway, one man wearing a shirt with a Cuban flag on it, and holding an American flag in his hand got up and walked towards the stage shouting American citizens before migrants. Wow. Where are you on the migrant issue? You're absent, the man shouted as he was escorted out of the hall by security. Before being forced out of the room, most of the crowd booed him. The man got 5 more words in. You're a piece of shit. Give that man a trophy. Give that man a medal. Go ahead and do that shit. You know what? Rogue Radio is going to send you a medal in the mail, sir. Sir, you're amazing. That is a renegade. That is a renegade. Renegade. God damn, that's amazing. Okay, I'm sorry. I really hope he's doing all right, though, because I know security can be pretty brutal. I really hope he didn't get hurt in the process of being escorted out. But let me put my Bluetooth. Stop. I really hope you guys can't hear that. But let me turn off the Bluetooth real quick so that you guys can listen to this video really quick. So let's go ahead. American citizens before migrants. Heckler at the AOC Town Hall, Corona, Queens. Okay.
So, sorry, so we're taking lines. Sir, we're taking lines. Sir, we're having to keep you write your name on the paper.
American citizens before migrants. Don't touch me. You're absent, American citizens. This country. Where are you? You're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit.
Okay. The president has come out saying that he also believes that he has this authority. What he has also said is that he is not sure if he is able to implement the authority in time for the June 5th deadline. And so that is where we see kind of this impasse. I still believe, first of all, that we should start to implement it anyway because we should eliminate the debt limit in the United States because of the constitutional. Now,
You voted for.
And I will share something. I don't like that Republicans passed a 1.7 trillion tax cut on the wealthiest people in this country. I don't like that we continue to destroy our military budget. I don't like that we have enormous amounts of.
You do not support this. It is not your turn. I thought you waited your turn. Freedom of speech.
Alright, well, that's the whole video. I like to give you guys like a direct audio, that way you guys can hear it. I wholeheartedly fucking hate AOC because, one, before the pandemic happened, before the Ukraine and Russia war happened, there's one thing that I will not forgive her for, is that she believes that people should never be too poor to live, which I can understand from her standpoint when she did say that, the Republicans decided to do a tax cut on the rich. She does believe in taxing the rich, which, to be honest, I don't know if I agree on, but I mean, she is backing up her claim, which I gotta give her a little bit of credit for. Whether or not she's putting that shit into action is questionable, but I will say that she does say that people should never be too poor to live, but then again, the homeless rate is skyrocketing, all because of inflation, and the fact that she decided to support the whole Ukraine fiasco, which, of course, there is a war and it's going to be fucking expensive, especially since America is supporting Ukraine at this moment. That actually kind of contradicts her view on what is happening with people who are now getting too poor to fucking live. Alright? Another thing is that I don't know if she has any say. I don't think that she has any responsibility in saying what's going on with illegal immigration, since she's not Kamala Harris, who's supposed to be guarding the goddamn wall. Who's supposed to actually be there, making sure that there are legal people immigrating into America. Okay? I don't have any problem with anyone who wants to become an American citizen, but you have to do it in a responsible way. There are reasons, okay? Even Trump believed this, all right? The border right now is the weakest part in America at this moment, all right? It is the most weakest point, meaning there can be drug cartels, sex trafficking, and even terrorists that come leaking through America, and you guys wonder why we have shootings, school shootings, and all this other shit going on, okay? Do I need to say anything else? I don't care what anybody else thinks. I mean, you can have your own opinion, go ahead. But the fact that she supports immigration, illegal immigration, is very questionable, because she is going back on what she says about people being too poor to live. Like, she wants to make sure that nobody is too poor to live. I like that she said that, but guess what? Democrats never fucking, fulfill their fucking promises. They never back up what they fucking say. They just go ahead and say the most beautiful lies instead of the ugly truth. So I don't care. I don't really know. I really don't know what authority she has when it comes to the border, but I do know that Kamala Harris does have some type of authority. She is called the border czar. So what the fuck is she doing? She's letting people in. We haven't heard from her in a long time. We haven't heard from Kamala Harris in a very long time. Where the fuck is she? What is she doing? Another thing, I know I kind of lost track of what I was gonna say, but I remember when AOC first started out, she ended up closing down a huge Amazon factory and talked about how awesome it was and how beneficial it was for thousands of employees to lose their goddamn jobs in New York. She did that. She talked about it. It was awful. This woman comes from New York. She's a New York citizen. And she decided to help close down an Amazon factory, okay, that put thousands of people out of fucking jobs. And here she is saying, oh, people shouldn't be too poor to fucking live. Bitch, you made people too poor to fucking live. You disgusting motherfucking hypocrite. While discussing the ongoing debt ceiling negotiations between the White House and Republican leadership, Ocasio-Cortez said,
we should eliminate the debt limit in the United States. A remark met by a mixture of cheers and boos. Well, you know what? If you really want to eliminate the debt limit in the United States, oh my god. Maybe you should tell your Grandpa Biden to make sure that there's debt forgiveness for students. Like, fuck. A remark met by mixture of cheers and boos. Okay. One in the audience expressed his frustration in with the Congresswoman's comment by pointing out that she supports the U.S. sending billions of dollars to Ukraine. Exactly. You're a fucking hypocrite, bitch. $100 billion for Ukraine that you voted for, he said. The man was met with shouts from everyone else in the crowd who told him it wasn't his turn to speak. Guess what? I don't give a shit. He was telling the truth. Too bad you guys didn't like it. You guys are really gonna bitch about it's not his turn to talk? You know how many people, you know how many politicians, you know how many people in general, whether they're comedians or people who just decide to talk, get heckled on a daily fucking basis whenever they do public speaking like this? Do you really think that that is the big concern? Oh, wait your turn. Motherfucker, shut the fuck up. There's going to be people. Right now, the American people are so fucking angry with how America is going down the fucking toilet. They're going to scream. They're going to scream at the top of their lungs. They're going to shout. They're going to do shit. They're going to say shit. Because that's their livelihood being fucking destroyed. And you honestly think that they're gonna fucking wait their turn? Shut the fuck up. Okay, I got too pissed. I'm sorry. I apologize. That was a lot. This is why I hate politics. But, I do like to talk about it just because, it's something that's going on in the world. You know? But another person at the town hall held signs that read, America First, vetted and legal migrants only, and stop funding Ukraine. Others displayed signs that AOC stop crying and AOC an obvious criminal. Ocasio-Cortez has faced angry people who have questioned her support of funding Ukraine in the past. In October, 2 people attending her town hall confronted her and accused her of supporting the nuclear war. Why are you playing with the lives of American citizens, he pressed. You're playing with our lives. You voted to mobilize and send money to Ukrainian Nazis, Jose Vega yelled. You're a coward. That's all I really have on that. I mean, the people basically said it for me. Before I get into random news, here is a break. Bruh, I need a break. You want to make a podcast? Do you want to be in the podcast community? Do you want to blaze your own trail like Rogue Radio? Well, Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easy. Then distribute it everywhere and even earn money from it. Yes. All in one place for free. Yes. It is called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, and no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast through Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&A polls are also an option as well. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it is totally free with no catch. Ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I have reached at least 63 countries and counting, and I'm very blessed. All right, let's have some fun. Okay, well, now we're going into something a little bit more relaxed, something random, something interesting. Yeah, It's just the middleman of the podcast between world news and political news. And to be honest, I might make a new segment just for world news. It all depends. I have to find something catchy, like a catchy title for y'all to listen to that. I don't want to make too many segments because I feel like I might confuse my viewers and listeners. But yeah, that's what's gonna happen. It may happen just because I don't usually touch on world news, because politics really does take out a lot from me. It takes a lot out of me. So when it does come to world news, I do kind of just pocket that until I'm able to do it. But since Persecution Press is no more for the time being, I might end up making just a world news segment for you guys. Yo, this is already an hour. This whole episode is already an hour. Did the time really get away from me that quickly? Okay, we might have to do a part 2 of this. I don't really know. I've never been in this position before. I mean, I've had 2-hour segments that I can't upload to YouTube. But I mean, I'll do my best. I'll do my best. Let's see here. We're gonna look real quick. Reflections on loving yourself. Are you an old soul? Oh no, those are zodiac signs. I don't fuck with that shit. New quasi-moon discovered near Earth has been traveling alongside our planet since 100 BC. The Y chromosome is vanishing. A new sex gene could be the future of men. What the fuck? I don't believe in evolution, so we'll just see what this happens to be. The Y chromosome is vanishing. This could be a woke article. We'll see. A new sex gene that could be the future of men. The sex of human and other mammal babies is decided by a male determining gene on the Y chromosome. But the human Y chromosome is degenerating and may disappear in a few million years, leading to our extinction unless we evolve a new sex gene. So you're saying that scientifically men are degenerating, their DNA is degenerating? Okay, listen, I know not a lot of people believe in spirituality, but that's fucking crazy. You know how many people in society really hate men? Just really do not like real men who stand up for their beliefs, who stand up and are actually real fucking men, who are the protectors and providers of the family, who don't identify as anything else but male, and are strong alpha males that respect women and everything else. Like, they're a good husband, they're a good father. I do believe, unfortunately, yes, that breed of male is a dying breed. It is a dying breed because, wow. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll just keep reading. Keep reading. The good news is 2 branches of rodents have already lost their Y chromosome and have lived to tell the tale. Okay, in recent paper proceedings of the National Academy of Science shows how the spiny rat has evolved a new male determining gene. How the Y chromosome determines human sex. In humans, as in other mammals, females have 2 X chromosomes and while males have a single X and a puny little chromosome Y. The names have nothing to do with their shape. The X stood for unknown. The X contains about 900 genes and do all sorts of jobs unrelated to sex, but the Y contains few genes, about 55, and a lot of non-coding DNA, simple repetitive DNA that doesn't seem to do anything. But the Y chromosome packs a punch because it contains an all-important gene that kickstarts male development in the embryo. And about 12 weeks after conception, the master gene switches on others that regulate the development of testes or testicles. The embryonic testes makes male hormones, testosterone, of course, which ensures the baby develops as a boy. Okay, this master sex gene was identified as SRY, sex region on the Y, in 1990. It works by triggering a genetic pathway starting with gene called SOX9, which is key for male determination in all vertebrates, although it does not lie on sex chromosomes. The disappearing Y. Most mammals have an X and Y chromosome similar to ours, an X with lots of genes, and Y with SRY plus a few others. This system comes with problems because of the unequal dosage of X genes in males and females. How did such a weird system evolve? The surprising finding is that Australia's platypus has completely different sex chromosomes, more like those of birds. In platypus, the XY pair is just an ordinary chromosome with two equal members. This suggests the mammal XY and the ordinary pair of chromosomes not that long ago. Okay. In turn, this must mean the Y chromosome has lost 955 active genes over the last 166 million years that humans and platypus have been evolving separately. That's a loss of about 5 genes per million years. At this rate, the last 55 genes will be gone in a million years, or 11 million years. Our claim of the imminent demise of the human Y created furor. I don't know how you say that. And to this day, there are claims and counterclaims about the expected lifetime of our Y chromosome. Estimates between infinity and a few thousand years. Rodents with no Y chromosome. The good news is that we know of 2 rodent lineages that have already lost their Y chromosome and are still surviving. The mole voles of Eastern Europe and the spiny rats of Japan each boast some species in which the Y chromosome and SRY have completely disappeared. The X chromosome remains, which in a single or double dose in both sexes. So what does that mean necessarily? If the Y chromosome is basically disappearing in men, does that still make them a male written in their DNA? See, I'm gonna go ahead and be a conspirator for a minute. There are things that we consume on a daily basis that probably does affect our DNA. Just like the vaccine, I do believe that it has affected our DNA. Does this actually fall into the category of vaccinated males? Do they actually want to make some sort of genderless Aryan race, and they're starting with the strong males? I'm a conspiracy theorist naturally, so if you don't believe in the conspiracy theory that I am cooking up within my brain, it is just a theory. I'm just trying to put 2 and 2 together. I'm thinking out loud, but if you don't agree with it, it's fine. I just believe that the government is up to some shit. They always are. And it's just been my natural responsibility, I feel like, my natural interest to try and find out why the mysteries of the human body, the human mind, or even in society exist. So I go ahead and dig really, really deep to find the root problem. That's just me. I'm an investigator. I investigate things. So when I end up talking conspirator-wise, I usually talk about it first. Like, hey, this is my conspiracy. This is my theory. This is probably what's going on. Because it's just a second nature. It's always been a second nature. But although it is not yet clear how the mole voles determine sex without the SRY gene, a team led by Hokkaido University biologist Asato Kuroya, has had more luck with the spiny rat, a group of 3 species in different Japanese islands, all endangered. Kuroiwa's team discovered most of the genes in the Y of spiny rats have been relocated to their chromosomes, but she found no sign of SRY, nor the gene that substitutes for it. In 2022, they published a successful identification of PNAS. The team found sequences that were in the genomes of males, but not females. Then refined these and tested for the sequence in every individual rat. So, what they discovered is a tiny difference near the key sex gene, SOX9, on chromosome 3 of the spiny rat. Okay? A small duplication, only 17,000 base pairs out of more than 3 billion, was present in all males and no females. They suggest that this small bit of duplicated DNA contains the switch that normally turns SOX in response to SRY. When they introduced this duplication into mice, they found that it boosts activity, so the change could allow SOX9 to work without SRY. That's very confusing. What this means for the future of men. The imminent, evolutionary speaking, disappearance of the human Y chromosome has elicited speculation about our future. Some lizards and snakes are female-only species and can make eggs out of their own genes via what's known as parthenogenesis. But this can't happen in humans or other mammals because we have at least 30 crucial imprinted genes that work only if they come from the father via sperm. To reproduce, we need sperm and we need men. Meaning that the end of the Y chromosome could herald the extinction of the human race. Holy shit. Alright. The new finding supports that alternative possibility that humans can evolve a new sex-determining gene. Phew. Alright. I don't want another sex-determining gene coming out of our men. There's a reason why the Y chromosome is supposed to be there, so the reason why the Y chromosome is starting to disappear is starting to scare me, really. I mean, what happens if a male doesn't have a Y chromosome? Is he really a male? That's what I need to know. Because I believe that the world needs strong men. I believe that the world needs strong fathers and strong husbands. There's nothing wrong with being a real man. There's nothing wrong with being like a strong man. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people have problems with that because they believe that if a strong man is a man who's straight and who's male or even white, they think that they're a threat, which, to be honest, it's not. And it's weird that science is starting to discover this. And yeah, I do believe that something is going on in the government. I mean, if this is true, most likely it is still a theory at the moment. Who knows? Scientific research is always up for observation and hypothesis and all of that other good stuff and up to theory. So I'm not going to say that this is true or not, okay? Plus, I am not a scientist and I'm not educated in that either. I'm just going by what I know. However, evolution of a new sex-determining gene comes with risks without, or what if more than one new system evolves in different parts of the world. A war of sex genes could lead to the separation of new species, which is exactly what has happened with mole voles and spiny rats. So if someone visited the Earth in 11 million years, they might find no humans or several different human species kept apart by their different sex determination systems. Wow. Anyway, I thank you so much for listening. I did not realize how long I actually talked, or else this episode would be much, much longer. But right now I am only able to do 1 hour fully for YouTube especially, but any other time really, whether it's Anchor.com or Spotify.com, you'll always be able to hear anything more than 1 hour, but I still have to find like certain websites where I can post my videos online on YouTube that will allow me to go ahead and post things for more than 1 hour. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. I will see you in the trenches next time. Thank you so much. Love you.